This video is designed to give you a basic guide on how to participate in Congress and how the proceedings unfold. For more details, which you should check out, please do see the full text versions of all the documents below for all the information that you need. Overview of meetings. Sectoral and thematic pre-meetings run from 12th to 14th of October. Because of limited space, only people who have pre-registered will be able to attend these meetings. On 13th and 14th of October, we'll also have regional executive committees, the Women's Committee, and the Executive Board. These are also only open for committee and board members. On 14th of October, the official Congress gets started at 5 p.m. with the opening ceremony and runs until the 18th of October, finishing around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. after the closing ceremony. Registration. When you arrive, you have to make sure that you register and get your official participant badge before Congress starts if you can. So do it as soon as you possibly can. You can do this inside Entrance 1 of the Palais Expo Convention Center where Congress takes place, starting from 8 a.m. on Thursday 12th of October through to 6:30 p.m. on Saturday 14th of October. If you arrive after that, please come and see us at the information point to find out about late registration. If more than one member of a delegation arrives at the same time, please just send one member to get all of your badges, ideally your head of delegation or a nominated person. This person will then distribute the badges to all of your colleagues. The ballot forms, which might be needed in case of a membership vote during Congress, can only be given to the head of the delegation. More details on voting can be found later in the video or below in the link, Voting Guide for Delegates. The head of delegation is the lead for that delegation. If the affiliate is represented by only one delegate, then you're automatically the head of the delegation. If there's a membership vote, then it's only you who casts the union's ballots. Delegates. Each delegate has a right to vote on every motion that's presented. You do this with a show of hands with your badge in the air. This badge, which you'll be given at your registration, acts as your voting card in this context. Observers are official members of your delegation, but you don't get the right to vote. Seating. Everyone from your union sits together as one delegation. You'll be seated by subregions as much as possible. The seating plan will be published just before Congress, and your country name will be on the tables, so look out for that as a guide. Documents. We're having a mostly paper-free Congress this time. There won't be documents available for you, so please do make sure that if you want a document printed, you have to do it in advance yourself using the links below. In your tote bag, which you'll receive at the registration, you'll receive a free USB key, and on this key will be all the Congress publications as well as other top PSI publications. So don't worry too much about printing in advance unless you absolutely have to. Standing orders and orders of business. The most important two documents which you should read to understand how Congress is going to work are the Provisional Standing Orders, which tells you how Congress is run, and the Order of Business, which tells you how Congress will unfold. These were both sent to you on August the 14th, but they're also accessible via the links below. Now, these documents might be slightly modified by the meeting of the Standing Orders Committee on Friday 13th of October. If that's the case, then we will circulate to you an updated version so that you're aware of any changes. But you should really read these already because not so much is going to change. The vast majority will remain the same, so we really recommend checking out these two documents ahead of time. The rules of Congress are adopted at the first session of Congress and become final once adopted. The Standing Orders Committee is mandated with the task of overseeing how Congress proceedings go and dealing with any proposed changes. The proceedings. Congress deals with formal motions and offers a large forum for debate and exchange. Formal motions submitted to Congress for discussion and approval have been subjected to a wide consultation process across the regions and sub-regions in early 2023. These are EB Resolution Number 1, PSI Program of Action for the next term and related affiliate amendments, EB Resolution Number 2, the revised PSI Constitution and related affiliate amendments, any affiliate and EB resolutions number 3 to 43, these are related to the affiliate amendments, and then we have any emergency resolutions which might be submitted during Congress. Now the forum for debate will focus on a variety of public sector issues. These issues will each be introduced by expert speakers during interactive panel sessions and allow for a general debate. In sessions following the panels, PSI leaders will introduce the various resolutions that pertain to each of the subject matter. The resolutions will then be debated and voted upon. Emergency resolutions can only be submitted under exceptional circumstances, which is spelled out in our Constitution. See the Constitution link below for more information on those rules. Now, elections. Congress will elect the PSI President and the PSI General Secretary for the next mandate. Any necessary voting materials for the elections will be distributed to the head of delegations. No additional motions, resolutions, amendments, or other business shall be added to the agenda or admitted during Congress. The only exception being emergency resolutions, which we discussed above. These resolutions first have to be referred to the Standing Orders Committee, which then produces a report to Congress that includes recommendations as to whether the resolution is in order and if and how the resolution shall be debated. Speaking guidelines. All delegates have the right to speak at Congress, but to do so you have to fill in a form available at the registration desk when you arrive or at the speaker's table once Congress opens. Once you fill it out, you have to hand it in at the speaker's table before the lunch break if you want to speak in the afternoon sessions, and before the end of the day if you want to speak in the following morning sessions. Affiliates who are moving resolutions or amendments must present the proposals in plenary and are encouraged to give the Secretary as soon as possible the details of which of their delegates will be speaking. To do this, please contact speakrequest@world-psi.org, email address down below. The chair will order the speakers in the debate. Delegates and observers are not guaranteed the right to speak if time doesn't allow. Speaking times are outlined in the standing orders. It's currently based on the existing standing orders, it's 5 minutes for introducing a section of the program of action, 3 minutes to move a resolution or amendment, 3 minutes for moving or responding to a procedural, 3 minutes for a right of reply, and 2 minutes for all other speakers. Now, the chair can change these speaking times during the session to facilitate the orderly conduct of the session at their discretion. Speakers who wish to speak in a language other than those already provided by Congress interpreters should approach the speaker's table to discuss arrangements, and generally will be able to do so if they can provide an English written copy of their comments before the start of the session. Now, voting at Congress. Every delegate at Congress gets a badge. This acts as your voting card. When the chair of the Congress calls a vote, they ask to see all in favor, then all against, and then abstentions. To vote, you raise your badge as high in the air as you can at the appropriate time, corresponding to whether you wish to support, oppose, or abstain the vote. This procedure is known as a hand vote. A resolution will be debated and voted on at the end of the debate. First, votes will be taken on any amendments to the resolution, then a vote on the resolution as a whole. If two resolutions on the same subject conflict, one resolution, the substantive resolution, will be debated and voted upon first. If it passes, then the second resolution, the alternate resolution, will automatically fall. If the substantive resolution falls, then a vote will be taken on the alternate resolution. Now, if an amendment to a resolution is supported by the original proposer of the resolution and by the executive board, and no one speaks in opposition, the amendment will be incorporated into the resolution and no vote will be taken unless somebody calls for one. The program of action will be adopted as a whole at the end of Congress. It will be debated section by section, with debate on amendments to each section. If no opposition is voiced to an amendment and it is supported by EB, it will be considered accepted without a vote unless somebody calls for one. If votes are taken, it will be done immediately after the amendment is debated before moving to the next item of the agenda. Affiliate resolutions and associated amendments will be debated and voted on in the order listed. Now, if the vote is clear to the chair from the hand vote, they will declare the result from the podium. If the chair determines that there's a need to count, they'll ask tellers who will be stationed around the hall, and they will count the cards for each response. They'll add up the votes and report these back to the chair, who will announce the vote to the rest of Congress. Membership votes. Now, this type of vote adds up the exact number of members that each union affiliates to PSI. It's a bit more time-consuming, but more representative of each affiliate's relative size. Affiliates from at least 4 countries must request a membership vote on a resolution, amendment, or constitutional amendment before hand voting begins. Heads of delegation should approach the chair or someone else at the top table well in advance of the start of voting to make their union's desire for a membership vote known, or signal loudly from the floor. This will then be put to the Congress floor, which must first approve or reject the request by a hand vote with a simple majority. If approved, the chair will proceed and heads of delegation receive ballot papers for a membership vote in their Congress packs. These are pre-printed with the name and paid-up membership of your union. The head of delegation fills in all of these details and gives it to one of the tellers around the hall. Any delegate holding a proxy vote for another union will also have been provided with that union's ballot papers. The proxy should vote in line with the instructions received from the union that you're representing. Once counted, the chair will then announce the result to Congress. Resolutions or amendments to resolutions pass if a simple majority votes in favor. This applies to hand votes on the basis of a number of delegates and to membership votes according to the number of affiliated members. Constitutional changes require a 2/3 majority of paid-up membership to PSI as represented at Congress in order to pass. All absences or abstentions in votes on the Constitution will effectively be votes against. As such, we strongly urge all delegates to ensure that they're there at the session which deals with constitutional matters. There are more intricacies to voting which you may need to be aware of, so please do read the Voting for Delegates guideline down in the links below. If you have any questions, please also contact your regional secretary or approach the speakers table once Congress has begun. Finally, PSI Congress is a space free from violence and harassment. We've created a full policy outlining the importance of solidarity in dealing with violations of these principles. It's available again below. Any Congress participant may make a complaint in confidence by emailing vhc@world-psi.org, email below, or by calling our 24-hour WhatsApp emergency line, or submitting a written sealed letter to the on-site Congress office marked Attention VHC. Complaints should include the facts of the incident, including the name and contact information, the date, times, and locations of the alleged incidents, and the names of any witnesses. Our investigations committee will take all complaints very seriously and actively look into the issue, and the Standing Orders Committee may facilitate appropriate remedial education or intervention measures. If any alleged criminal acts have taken place, PSI will offer the complainants legal support in such cases. Now, throughout Congress, you can come to the information desk in the lobby with any questions, and our staff should be able to help point you in the right direction. As I've said a few times, do make sure to familiarize yourself with all of the delegates' briefing information, the voting rules, and any other documents in the links below so that you're sure to be able to participate in Congress. And apart from that, thanks so much for taking the time, and we really look forward to welcoming you to Congress very soon. See you soon.